Lesson 31. Note-making. Making notes is an important tool of effective learning. Notes are aid to memory. They also present important and large chunks of knowledge concisely. Notes help us to remember important details of what we have read, refresh our memory about what we have read in the past, prepare for examinations, plan an essay, speech, lecture and facilitate participate or discussion. A. Read the following passage and complete the notes based on the given hints. Soil. What is soil? The original materials from which it has been formed through long ages are the rocks of the Earth's crust. There are three kinds of rocks made in three different ways. Igneous rocks were made when the molten material, of which the Earth consisted long ago, became cooler and solidified. Granite, a very hard rock, is one of these. Another kind of rock is sedimentary rock, formed when rivers brought down small pieces of material with them as they flowed into the sea. The matter which they brought down with them fell to the bottom of the sea, and this sediment was slowly pressed and cemented together by other substances into rock. Then the crust of the earth moved, the bottoms of the seas were raised, and when they reached a sufficient height, became dry land. Sedimentary rocks are found in all kinds of places, even on high mountains. Shale, limestone and chalk are sedimentary rocks. The third kind of rock is metamorphic rock, a rock which has been made by change due to heat. This was formed, for instance, when the lava thrown out by volcanoes affected the material over which it flowed. The heat changed the surface underneath and produced different kinds of rocks, of which slate and marble are two. Notes three kinds of rocks: igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic. Made in three different ways. Igneous. Answer. Igneous rocks, made from molten material, became cooler and solidified, for example granite. Sedimentary rocks. Answer. Formed when sediment brought down rivers was slowly pressed and cemented together by other substances into rock, for example shale, limestone, and chalk. Metamorphic rocks. Answer. Made by change due to heat, that is when the lava thrown out by volcanoes affected the material over which it flowed, for example slate and marble. B. Make notes on the following passage. Prompts are given for the first passage. 1. The Earth's crust. About 2,500 million years ago, the Earth on which we live was a ball of which, on cooling, grew smaller and became liquid. The liquid continued to cool, giving off some of its heat by radiation. When liquids grow colder, they solidify. The crust of the Earth is the solid matter resulting from this cooling, but probably inside the fart there is still a mass of molten material which has not cooled as much as the gas outer crust. The crust on which we live and from which we obtain almost everything is not rigid. Volcanoes such as Etna and Stromboli in the Italian islands remind us from time to time of the force and heat below the ground. Various places on the Earth are subject to earthquakes, the country that has suffered the most from these being Japan. The study of earthquakes has shown that the origin of many of them is under the bottom of the sea and near the coast of a continent or a large island. In an earthquake, the surface of the land may move suddenly in any direction, bringing houses down, changing a straight railway track into a useless zigzag, altering the courses of rivers, changing the shapes of hills, and sometimes causing an immense sea wave to rush on the nearest shore and add to the destruction. This tidal wave, as it is called, is wrongly named because it has nothing to do with the tide. Notes 1. Stages in Earth's crust formation. Answer. A. 2,500 million years ago the Earth was a ball of gas which cooled to liquid. B. Liquid continued to cool, giving off some of its heat by radiation, subsequently formed solidified top layer called the Earth's crust. 2. State of crust below ground. Answer. State of crust below ground, a mass of molten material which has not cooled as much as the outer crust. 3. Study of earthquakes tells us. Answer. Study of earthquakes tells us that many earthquakes originate at the bottom of the sea, and near the coast of a continent or a large island. 4. Origin of earthquakes. Answer. Origin of earthquakes. Plates of land moving in different